Most people have no idea that the greatest obstacle to wealth is not in the economy, not in their job, and not even in their circumstances. The true barrier sits quietly inside the mind, woven into thoughts, stitched into words, inherited like an invisible garment, passed down from family culture and the stories of failure we have rehearsed for years. These are the hidden chains of old beliefs, and they bind tighter than iron ever could. Think for a moment. How many times have you caught yourself saying, "Money doesn't come easy," or "I can't afford that"? How many times have you heard someone else plant those words into your spirit as though they were fact? Each of those statements is a seed, and every seed grows after its own kind. Left unchallenged, these seeds bloom into a garden of scarcity, a life where bills pile up, opportunities vanish, and blessings seem blocked at every turn. But the opposite is also true. When these beliefs are finally brought into the light and released, the results can feel miraculous. Suddenly, provision arrives in ways you could not have orchestrated. Doors that were locked for years swing wide open. Money flows in unexpected streams. Instead of fighting for every dollar, you begin to witness overflow, more than enough, pressed down and running over. This is the great spiritual contrast. Bondage, when old beliefs rule. Freedom when they are surrendered. Florence Scovel Shinn understood this truth with divine clarity. She taught that life is not ruled by chance but by law, spiritual laws that govern wealth, success, and manifestation as surely as gravity governs the earth. She revealed that our words, our thoughts, and our inner images are magnets pulling experiences into form. If you continue to repeat old poverty patterns, you will call forth more lack. But if you dare to replace them with truth, miracles will not delay. So many people live as though money is an enemy, as though prosperity is reserved for others, or as though divine blessing is rationed out in small pieces. They forget that wealth is not wicked and abundance is not sin. In truth, lack is the unnatural state, supply is the divine order. It is fear, shame, and inherited poverty thinking that make wealth seem impossible. These ideas creep in quietly from parents who struggled, from teachers who said, "Be realistic," from culture that glorifies suffering as though it were holy. They become chains passed from one generation to the next, until someone like you decides to break them. Let me paint the picture of what happens when these beliefs remain unchallenged. A man works tirelessly for decades, always careful, always frugal, always worried about running out. Yet no matter how much he earns, the money disappears. He invests in the wrong things, trusts the wrong people, and somehow the struggle never ends. Why? Because his inner law declares, "Money slips through my fingers." His belief fulfills itself. His life becomes the proof of his own word. Now imagine another person who once carried the same fear but decided to release it. She began speaking a new declaration, "I am aligned with divine abundance. Wealth stays with me and multiplies." Within weeks, an unexpected check cleared an old debt. A new client found her without advertising. Doors opened in her career that she had long abandoned. Did she suddenly become luckier? No. She released the belief that money leaves, and the universe rushed to honor her new truth. This is why Florence Scovel Shinn's wisdom still echoes across the years. She reminded us that life is a game, and the game is played with thoughts, words, and faith. Every player either wins with divine law or loses with false belief. And today you are being invited to play differently. You are being invited to let go of the chains, to step out of the prison built by old words, and to walk in the light of a new spiritual order. But here is the beautiful secret. Release is not hard. It is not about struggling or forcing. It begins with awareness, seeing the old belief for what it is, a lie dressed as truth. Then it continues with a choice, a decision to no longer agree with that lie. Finally, it is sealed by a new word spoken with faith, a declaration of abundance, a holy affirmation that aligns your spirit with divine wealth. So as you listen, I want you to take your first step right now. Break your silence and declare your intent. Type in the comments, "I am ready to release old beliefs." Those words may seem small, but they carry the power of agreement. They are a signal to your subconscious, to the universe, and to the divine that you are no longer willing to live in bondage. You are stepping into freedom. This is just the beginning. Over the next few moments, we will journey together into the deeper layers of release. We will uncover the hidden roots of poverty consciousness. We will study the divine law of release that Florence Scovel Shinn preached with such fire. And you will learn not only how to let go, but also how to fill the empty space with truth, so powerful that wealth cannot help but find you. Remember this: if you do nothing, the chains will remain. You will continue to live by the same script written by others long before you had a say. But if you dare to take this journey, if you dare to surrender the lies, then in just 7 days you will feel the shift. Old beliefs will fall away, new opportunities will rise, and abundance will flow into your life as naturally as water rushing to the sea. So let us begin. The chains may be hidden, but they are not eternal. The prison doors are not locked. With every word of truth, with every release, with every affirmation, you are walking toward freedom. And freedom is the birthplace of wealth. If you were to trace every financial struggle, every moment of lack, every time money slipped away just when you needed it most, you would find that the root was never money itself, it was belief. Money is not cruel, money does not run from you. Money is neutral, obedient, and responsive. It flows to where it is invited and stays where it is honored. The real enemy is the subconscious pattern that whispers, "I can't, I don't, I never," and then forces life to reflect those words back at you. The subconscious is the stage manager of your destiny. You may think you are directing your life with conscious effort, working hard, setting goals, trying your best, but if your subconscious has been programmed with poverty, your script will always end the same. You will find yourself repeating cycles of debt, disappointment, and just barely getting by. Why? Because thoughts are magnetic, words are seeds, and what is planted in the soil of the subconscious must eventually appear in the field of reality. Florence Scovel Shinn taught this with fearless conviction. What you fear, you attract. Fear is not passive. Fear is faith reversed. It is belief in a negative outcome, so strong that the universe rushes to deliver it. When someone says, "I'm afraid I'll lose my job," they are giving a command to life. When another says, "I'll never have enough," they are signing their name on a contract of lack. And then they wonder why the very thing they dreaded appears at their door. Let me tell you a story. Florence once counseled a woman who lived in constant fear of poverty. This woman had inherited her mother's words, "We must always struggle. Money is scarce. Be careful, or it will run out." She carried those sentences like scripture. No matter how much she earned, disaster struck. If she saved, the car broke down. If she received a gift, an emergency bill arrived. Her fear was so alive that it called forth the very circumstances she dreaded. But Florence challenged her to release those words. She gave her a new declaration: "God is my supply. I cannot lack." The woman repeated it daily, especially when fear tried to return. Within weeks, the endless cycle of emergencies stopped. She received unexpected help. Her hills were cleared, and for the first time she experienced what it felt like to live free from financial anxiety. The outer shifted because the inner had been replaced. This is why so many remain trapped in poverty consciousness. They treat money as though it is the master, when in truth, it is the servant. They bow to lack instead of commanding abundance. They let the subconscious drag them through old, borrowed beliefs, never realizing they are the ones writing the script. A child may have heard "money doesn't grow on trees" 1,000 times. By adulthood, that phrase has become law inside their mind, and unless it is released, it will continue to block supply no matter how many hours they work or how many opportunities they chase. Think about your own story. How many of your financial struggles can be traced back to something you were taught as a child? Perhaps you were told to be grateful for just enough. Perhaps you were warned that wealth corrupts. Perhaps every time you dreamed of more, someone said, "Don't get your hopes up." These words entered your subconscious, and the subconscious does not argue. It simply agrees. It repeats the pattern until you decide to break it. Here is the spiritual law. What you dwell on grows. What you fear, you attract. What you speak, you summon. Poverty consciousness is nothing more than a set of lies given power by constant agreement. It is the shadow you cast when you forget the light of divine supply. But the moment you challenge it, the moment you speak a new truth, the shadow begins to dissolve. Florence often reminded her students that life is a mirror. If you want to see wealth in the reflection, you must put wealth in the cause. That means replacing every false belief with a divine affirmation. It is not enough to simply stop fearing, you must actively plant new words. Silence alone does not bring abundance. Affirmation does. Say it now with me. I dissolve every false belief about money. Let those words sink deep. They are not just sentences, they are keys turning in invisible locks. They are new seeds planted in the fertile soil of your subconscious. Every time you repeat them, you weaken the grip of the old lie. Every time you affirm truth, you build a bridge for wealth to cross into your experience. Consider another story from Florence's ministry. A man came to her crushed by years of debt. No matter how hard he worked, his pay vanished into bills. His fear of never catching up was so ingrained that even when opportunities appeared, he sabotaged them. Florence gave him a new statement. There is no debt in divine mind. I am free, and my supply is unlimited. At first, he laughed, doubting the power of words. But he spoke it anyway, morning and night. Within a short time, he was offered a new position that doubled his income. Soon after, a long-forgotten loan owed to him was repaid. Debt dissolved because belief dissolved first. Do you see the pattern? Subconscious fear creates cycles of lack. New faith creates cycles of abundance. Poverty consciousness is not permanent. It is only the shadow of old words. And shadows vanish when light shines. Now I want to make this practical for you. Think of one belief you have carried that has blocked wealth. Perhaps it is I never have enough, or money leaves quickly, or people like me don't get rich. Bring that belief to the surface. See it for what it is, a lie you agreed to, not a law of life. And in this moment, replace it. Speak aloud. I dissolve every false belief about money. Then type in the comments the specific belief you are ready to let go. By naming it, you strip it of its secrecy. By declaring release, you begin to shift the magnetic pull of your words. This is the work Florence Scovel Shinn devoted her life to teaching. She knew that when the inner law changes, the outer world cannot resist. Consciousness is the soil, belief is the seed, and wealth is the harvest. If you want a different harvest, plant a different seed. So do not underestimate the power of your thoughts and never dismiss the force of your words. They are not casual, they are creative. If you complain, you call lack. If you affirm, you call abundance. The choice is always yours. Poverty consciousness is not a curse placed upon you. It is a choice you have unknowingly made again and again. But today, you can choose differently. Repeat it again. I dissolve every false belief about money. Let that affirmation echo through your mind. Let it shake loose the inherited chains. Let it write a new script for your subconscious. You are not destined for lack. You are designed for supply. As we move forward, we will go deeper into the law of release, the divine principle that nothing new can enter until the old is surrendered. But before we step into that, pause for a moment. Recognize that the power to shift your entire financial destiny is not in some distant future. It is in your words right now. Poverty consciousness is not permanent. Release it, and you will discover that wealth was waiting all along. There is a divine order to life, and that order is simple. Nothing new can enter until the old is released. Imagine trying to pour fresh water into a jar already filled with stones. No matter how much you pour, the jar cannot receive. The same is true in your spirit. If your hands are tightly clenched around fear, doubt, and old beliefs about money, how can you expect to receive abundance? The law of release demands that the old be surrendered so the new can flow. Florence Scovel Shinn often compared this to the posture of the hand. A closed fist can hold tightly to what little it has, but it cannot receive anything more. An open hand, though vulnerable, is ready to accept new blessings. Release, then, is not weakness, it is the ultimate act of faith. To release is to trust that when you let go of the false, the true will rush in to take its place. To release is to agree with divine order, which never leaves a vacuum unfilled. Many people struggle because they cling to beliefs and stories that no longer serve them. They say, "This is just how it has always been. My family was poor, life is unfair, money is hard." These words may feel safe because they are familiar, but in reality they are chains disguised as comfort. As long as you grip them, you leave no room for wealth to enter. The law of release requires that you open your hand, even when it feels risky, even when it feels like you might lose. Consider this. A woman came to Florence, burdened by fear. She had prayed for abundance, but nothing changed. Florence discerned the problem. The woman prayed with her lips, but held fear in her heart. She had not truly released the belief that she would always struggle. Florence instructed her to speak a new declaration. I now release all fear and receive divine wealth. The woman repeated it faithfully, morning and night, for 7 days. By the end of that week, her husband received an unexpected promotion, and the financial strain that had haunted them for years began to ease. Release opened the door, and supply walked in. Why 7 days? Because repetition breaks down resistance. Old beliefs are stubborn. They cling like shadows in the subconscious. But when you declare new words daily, with faith, you weaken the grip of the old and invite the strength of the new. That is why I challenge you now. Take this declaration and repeat it for 7 days without fail. I now release all fear and receive divine wealth. Write it, speak it, post it where your eyes can see. Every repetition is a loosening of the chains. Every day is another opening of your hand. The law of release is everywhere if you look closely. A tree must release its leaves in autumn so that spring can bring new growth. The tide must release the shore so that fresh waves can arrive. Even your lungs prove the law with every breath. You must exhale before you can inhale. In the same way, you must release poverty thinking before prosperity can fill you. But here is the struggle. Many fear letting go. They fear that if they release old beliefs, nothing will come to replace them. Yet divine order never leaves a vacuum empty. Florence taught that once the false is dissolved, the true rushes in immediately. If you let go of the belief money always leaves, you make space for the truth, wealth multiplies for me. If you release the fear of bills, you open space for the faith of supply. Let me give you another example. A man came to Florence in despair, convinced he could never escape debt. He clung to the identity of the one who always owes. Florence urged him to stop rehearsing that identity and instead release it. He began to declare, I now release all fear and receive divine wealth. Within days, a business partner he had long forgotten reached out with an opportunity. Within weeks, he had new contracts that cleared his debts. His outer circumstances changed only after his inner grip loosened. This law is not only spiritual, it is practical. Imagine a person hoarding old clothes, refusing to clear their closet. No matter how many new garments they buy, there is no room. It is only when they donate or discard the old that they create space for the new. Life works the same way. Old beliefs about lack must be cleared out so the abundance of divine supply can hang in the closet of your soul. So I ask you today, what are you holding on to? What phrase do you still repeat that keeps your hand closed? Is it I'll never get ahead? Is it rich people are greedy? Is it I don't deserve more? Identify it now and then dare to release it, because if you do not, you will continue to live in the harvest of that lie. But if you release it, you will watch in awe as wealth begins to flow in ways you never expected. Release is not passive. It is an active surrender. It is saying, I no longer agree with the lie. I choose truth. It is obedience to the higher law that governs all supply. And obedience always brings reward. When you align with divine order, the universe must respond. Florence reminded her students again and again that the act of release is itself the evidence of faith. To release is to believe that you are supported. To release is to prove you trust divine supply more than fear. And when faith rises, miracles follow. So today, I bless you with this challenge. For the next 7 days, morning and night, speak these words aloud. I now release all fear and receive divine wealth. As you declare them, imagine your hands opening. Imagine the chains falling. Imagine the flow of abundance rushing toward you. Do not doubt the process. Do not measure progress with the eyes of fear. Simply release, trust, and expect. And here is what you will discover. Some of you will feel lighter instantly, as though a weight has been lifted. Others will notice small signs, a gift, a kind gesture, an unexpected refund. And some will see dramatic shifts, new jobs, cleared debts, or sudden opportunities. Each sign is proof that divine order is moving the moment you obey the law of release. Remember, nothing new enters until the old is surrendered. Closed fists cannot receive, but open hands are filled. Release your fear, release your false beliefs, release your inherited poverty thinking. In its place will come wealth, supply, and miracles that cannot be explained by logic. The spiritual law of release is eternal. It does not fail. It does not delay. It only waits for your agreement. So take the first step, open your hand, speak the words, and watch what happens when heaven's order fills the vacuum you create. I now release all fear and receive divine wealth. Repeat it, believe it, live it. For 7 days, let this be your anthem, and as you do, prepare your heart for what comes next, because when the old is gone, the floodgates of the new swing wide open. If you want to change your financial life, you must first be willing to uncover the beliefs that have been running it. These old beliefs often hide in plain sight. They sound so ordinary, so commonly repeated, that most people never question them. But these phrases are not harmless. They are the silent architects of poverty consciousness. To break free, you must identify them, expose them, and then replace them with truth. Florence Scovel Shinn was relentless about this process. She reminded her students that you cannot manifest abundance while secretly agreeing with lies about money. The subconscious will always honor your deepest conviction. If that conviction is rooted in fear, guilt, or shame, then life will continue to reflect those emotions in your bank account. But the moment you replace lies with divine truth, the reflection begins to change. Let us examine some of the most common beliefs that block wealth. Money is hard to earn. This is one of the oldest and most destructive lies. Perhaps you heard it growing up, as parents or teachers spoke about the endless grind of work. Perhaps you internalized it from watching others labor endlessly, yet never rise above struggle. Over time, the phrase becomes law inside the mind. Money is supposed to be difficult, wealth is supposed to be rare, and prosperity requires suffering. But what is the divine truth? The truth is that money is not hard when aligned with divine supply. Wealth flows naturally to those who are in agreement with abundance. Work may require effort, but it need not be struggle. The divine affirmation that dissolves this lie is money flows to me with ease and in perfect ways. Notice the difference. One sentence shuts the door with difficulty. The other opens the gate with ease. Rich people are greedy. This belief poisons countless minds. It creates a subconscious resistance to wealth. If you believe wealth corrupts, then deep down you will sabotage your own financial growth. After all, no one wants to become what they secretly despise, so the moment opportunities for prosperity appear, the subconscious finds a way to block them. But this is not divine truth. Wealth is not inherently greedy. It is neutral energy. It reflects the heart of the one who holds it. In the hands of the selfish, money magnifies selfishness. In the hands of the generous, money magnifies generosity. The divine truth is, wealth is a tool for good in my life and in the world. By embracing this, you release the fear of becoming corrupt and instead align with wealth as a blessing. I don't deserve abundance. This may be the most crippling belief of all. Somewhere along the way, many were taught that prosperity was only for a select few. Some were told they were not smart enough, not worthy enough, or not holy enough to receive abundance. This lie digs deep, embedding shame into the subconscious. As long as you believe you are undeserving, you will unconsciously push away opportunities that could bless you. But divine order does not measure worthiness by human standards. Abundance is the natural state of creation. The earth overflows with supply fields, produce harvests. Rivers overflow, stars multiply in the sky. If the universe is generous without limit, why would your portion be lack? The divine affirmation is, I am worthy of abundance, for I am one with divine supply. Now, how do you break free from these beliefs in a practical way? First, you must write them down. Take a notebook and write the exact words that come up when you think about money. Do not edit, Do not censor. If your mind says, money leaves quickly, write it. If it says I'll always struggle, write that too. The act of writing brings hidden beliefs into the light, and what is revealed can be healed. Once you have written them, examine each one. Ask yourself, is this belief divine truth, or is it a lie inherited from fear? Then flip it. Turn money is hard to earn into money comes easily and frequently. Turn rich people are greedy into wealth magnifies the good within me. Turn I don't deserve abundance into I am worthy of infinite supply. These flips are not mere positive thinking, they are spiritual corrections. They replace false laws with true ones. Next, release the old beliefs physically. Take the paper on which you have written them and choose a symbolic act of surrender. You may shred it, burn it, or tear it into pieces. As you do, declare aloud, I now release these lies. I choose truth over lies. This physical act speaks directly to your subconscious. It marks the moment of letting go. The subconscious does not argue with ritual, it records it as fact. Many students of Florence reported miraculous breakthroughs after such symbolic releases. One woman, after burning a list of her poverty beliefs, received a surprise letter forgiving an old debt. Another, after shredding her written lies, found that her business suddenly attracted new clients. Was this magic? No, it was the spiritual law in action. When you release the false, you create space for the true, and abundance rushes to fill the vacuum. Now I invite you to participate fully. In this moment, type in the comments, I choose truth over lies. By writing it publicly, you declare your alignment with truth. You break the silent agreement with falsehood and instead step into agreement with divine supply. Do not underestimate this act. It may seem simple, but it signals to your subconscious, to the universe, and to your community that you are done with lack. Remember this. The beliefs you hold are not your identity. They are learned patterns, stories inherited from others, shadows that can be released. You are not the belief money is hard. You are not the belief wealth is greedy. You are not the belief I don't deserve. You are a divine being created in an abundant universe, and your true nature is overflow. So let us end this section with a declaration. Speak it aloud, with faith. I now see the lies. I release them. I choose truth over lies. I am worthy, wealth is good, and money flows to me with ease. Say it until your spirit feels it. Repeat it until your subconscious records it, and act upon it with rituals of release, until your outer life reflects it. As we move forward, we will take these truths into the daily practice of transformation. For the next section, we will walk through days 1 to 3 of the 7-day journey, practical steps to dismantle poverty scripts and replace them with wealth affirmations. But it begins here with identification. For what you cannot see, you cannot release. And what you do not release will continue to rule you. So write it, burn it, shred it, release it, and remember, every lie you let go of makes more space for abundance to enter. Transformation is never an accident. It is the result of choice, repeated in faith until it rewrites the very code of your life. Florence Scovel Shinn taught that the game of life is played with words, thoughts, and actions aligned with divine law. And for those who are willing to commit, even a few days of focused release can begin to undo years of poverty thinking. That is why we now move into the practical 7-day journey. In these first 3 days, you will confront, forgive, and replace. Each day builds upon the last, dismantling the inner narratives of lack and replacing them with the language of wealth. Every healing begins with acknowledgement. Too often, people try to leap straight into affirmations without first recognizing the lies that have shaped their lives. But denial is not release, it is repression. And what is repressed only grows stronger. That is why the first day is devoted to acknowledgement. On day 1, take time to write down every poverty script that comes to mind. These are the words you say when bills arrive. These are the sentences that rise when opportunities present themselves. Maybe it sounds like, I can't afford that, or perhaps, I'll always struggle. It may even whisper, this is just who I am. Do not fear what you write. These are not truths, they are the weeds choking your garden. and weeds must be pulled before new seeds can grow. Once you have written them down, speak them aloud, not as agreement but as acknowledgement. Say, "This is what I once believed, but I no longer agree with it." Then, perform a small ritual of release. Burn the paper safely, or tear it into pieces, or shred it until the words cannot be read. As you do, declare, "I release these lies now, they no longer rule me." Feel the power of this act. For the first time, you are refusing to be silent. You are naming the chains and casting them off. In this moment, you prove to your subconscious that the script has changed. End the day with this affirmation: I now release all false beliefs about money. I open my hands to receive divine wealth. Say it 3 times before bed. Then, in your journal, write how you felt after releasing the old beliefs. Did you feel lighter? Did resistance rise? Record it. The journal becomes a map of your transformation. The second day goes deeper. Release alone is powerful, but if guilt remains, it will keep pulling you back into old patterns. Many people are haunted by the money mistakes of the past. They replay the investments that failed, the jobs they lost, the debts they accumulated. Shame lingers in the subconscious, whispering, "You failed before, you will fail again." But hear me clearly. Forgiveness is the key to breaking this cycle. Without forgiveness, the past continues to write your present. With forgiveness, the past dissolves and space opens for the new. On day 2, take your journal again. Write down the financial regrets that still weigh on you. Maybe you overspent when you were younger. Maybe you borrowed money and could not repay it on time. Maybe you trusted someone who betrayed you. Write each one. Then, over each line, write, "I forgive myself. I release this mistake. I am free." If someone else was involved, write, "I forgive them. I bless them. I release them." Florence taught that resentment and guilt are forms of debt that must be cleared before supply can flow. To hold on to guilt is to declare, "I do not deserve wealth." But when you forgive, you declare, "I am cleansed. I am aligned with abundance." Repeat this affirmation throughout the day. I forgive myself for past mistakes. I am aligned with wealth now. Speak it when the memory of failure tries to return. Whisper it when shame creeps in. Every repetition is a hammer striking the chains of guilt until they break. At night, journal again. Write how it feels to let go of shame. Write any resistance you felt. Write any peace that surprised you. This daily record will show you how forgiveness transforms not just your finances but your spirit. By day 3, the soil of your mind is ready for new seeds. You have acknowledged and released the lies. You have forgiven the past. Now it is time to replace emptiness with abundance, fear with faith, silence with declaration. Words spoken with conviction are the instruments of creation. They are the tools with which you now rebuild your life. Florence insisted that affirmations are not mere wishes, they are commands aligned with divine law. When you affirm wealth, you are not begging the universe for scraps, you are declaring your rightful inheritance. On day 3, choose 3 affirmations to repeat morning, noon, and night. For example, I forgive myself for past mistakes. I am aligned with wealth now. Divine supply is unlimited, and I am its channel. Money flows to me in expected and unexpected ways. Speak them aloud with authority. Do not rush through them like empty words. Feel them. Imagine them taking root in your subconscious. Picture them shaping your reality. Carry these affirmations with you. Write them on cards. Set them as reminders on your phone. Whisper them under your breath as you walk. Every repetition is a brushstroke painting a new inner picture of abundance. At night, journal the affirmations again. Write them by hand 3 times each. There is power in writing, for it imprints the subconscious differently than speech. As you close the journal, say, "These words are now my truth. They are alive in me." These 3 days may seem simple, but they are the foundation of transformation. Day 1 clears the soil. Day 2 removes the stones of guilt. Day 3 plants new seeds of truth. Together, they shift the direction of your inner compass. And here is the beauty. Change will not wait until day 7 to show itself. Many of you will notice small signs even in these first 3 days. A phone call with good news, a refund you were not expecting, a sense of peace when you think about money instead of dread. These are not accidents. They are the first fruits of alignment. Remember, wealth is not only measured in numbers, it is measured in freedom, in peace, in opportunity. When you release lies, forgive the past, and speak new truth, you are already wealthier than before. So let us seal this section with a unified declaration. Speak it aloud with me now. I forgive myself for past mistakes. I am aligned with wealth now. Money flows to me freely, and I receive it with joy. Type in the comments, I am aligned with wealth now. By writing it, you claim it. By speaking it, you affirm it. By believing it, you manifest it. As we continue, days 4 and 5 will take you even deeper. You will learn how to reprogram your subconscious with gratitude and prosperity truths. You will see how filling the void left by release is essential for lasting transformation. But never forget, it all begins here, with 3 days of dismantling poverty scripts and planting wealth affirmations. So commit fully. Journal nightly. Speak the words daily. Release, forgive, affirm, and prepare yourself, for the flow of abundance has already begun. By the time you arrive at day 4, you have already done something extraordinary. You have acknowledged the lies, you have forgiven the past, and you have begun planting seeds of new affirmations. But spiritual transformation is not only about release, it is also about reprogramming. Florence Scovel Shinn often said, "Nature abhors a vacuum." The moment you remove old beliefs, space is created, and unless you deliberately fill that space with divine truth, the old patterns will attempt to return. Days 4 and 5 are about guarding that space, about filling it with the most powerful forces of prosperity, gratitude, and affirmation. Gratitude is the magnet that multiplies what you already have and attracts what you desire. It is not simply good manners. It is spiritual technology. When you give thanks, you align yourself with abundance. You affirm that supply already exists, and in doing so, you invite more of it to flow into your life. On day 4, you begin a deliberate practice of gratitude. Start with the simple things. In the morning, before your feet touch the ground, say aloud, "Thank you for another day of life. Thank you for breath. Thank you for health. Thank you for the roof over my head." Each statement pulls your awareness from lack into supply. Then, move into financial gratitude. Even if you are facing bills, thank God for the means to pay them. If your bank account seems small, thank Him that it is not empty. Gratitude is not denial, it is acknowledgement of the seed already present. A seed, when honored, grows into a harvest. Florence shared stories of people who shifted their entire financial destiny through gratitude. One student of hers was constantly in debt and always complaining. Florence instructed her to begin thanking God daily for her divine supply. At first, the woman resisted. "How can I thank God when I don't see anything?" she asked. Florence replied, "Because gratitude is the evidence of faith. You thank before you see, and then you see because you thanked." Within weeks, unexpected income arrived, and the woman's situation changed. Today, I invite you to do the same. Take your journal and write 10 things you are grateful for, 5 general blessings and 5 financial ones. Then write this declaration at the bottom, "I am thankful for wealth already mine." Say it aloud 3 times, and type it in the comments, "I am thankful for wealth already mine." Let the act of gratitude ripple through your words, your actions, your spirit. Carry gratitude throughout your day. If you find a coin on the ground, thank God for it. If someone pays you a compliment, receive it with gratitude. If you enjoy a meal, give thanks for the provision. Gratitude is a current. It builds momentum. The more you notice, the more will appear. At night, journal again. Write 3 ways in which gratitude shifted your emotions during the day. Did you feel lighter? Did you notice unexpected kindness? Did peace replace worry? Gratitude is not only preparation for abundance, it is abundance in motion. On day 5, you move deeper into the reprogramming process by affirming divine supply. Gratitude acknowledges what is, affirmation declares what is to come. Together, they create a bridge between the seen and the unseen. Florence Scovel Shinn emphasized that supply does not come from jobs, people, or banks. It comes from the divine source. Those channels may change, but the source never does. When you place your faith in the source rather than the channel, you align with unlimited supply. On day 5, practice declaring the truth of supply aloud. Say, "Divine supply is unlimited, and I am its channel." Speak it when you wake. Speak it when you worry. Speak it until your spirit feels the truth settle in your bones. Another affirmation Florence recommended is, "I have a wonderful work, in a wonderful way. I give wonderful service for wonderful pay." This statement aligns your work with abundance. It shifts you from fear of scarcity to faith in provision. Here's a practical exercise. Write 3 affirmations about supply that resonate with you. Example: all that is mine by divine right now flows to me. I live in a universe of unlimited wealth. My supply is constant, my income is growing, and my wealth is multiplying. Repeat them throughout the day. Write them on sticky notes and place them where you can see them, on your desk, your mirror, even your phone screen. Every glance becomes a reminder of abundance. At night, reinforce the affirmations in your journal. Write each one 10 times. The repetition engraves them into your subconscious. Do not underestimate this. Your mind has been rehearsing poverty scripts for years. Reprogramming requires persistence, but every repetition is another strike of light, breaking the darkness. Florence told of a man who lived with constant fear of financial collapse. He affirmed daily, "My supply is endless, my wealth is secure." Within months, his failing business turned around. New clients arrived, and his income stabilized. His outer reality shifted only after his inner law was rewritten. So I invite you to declare it now. Speak it aloud. Divine supply is unlimited, and I am its channel. Type in the comments, "I am thankful for wealth already mine." By doing so, you are not only affirming truth but also sealing your faith in community. These 2 days, gratitude and affirmation, are the turning point of the 7-day journey. They take the empty space left by release and fill it with abundance. Gratitude shifts your eyes from lack to overflow. Affirmation engraves divine supply into your subconscious. Together, they form the foundation for miracles. Do not dismiss the simplicity of these practices. The subconscious is not moved by complexity, it is moved by repetition. And the universe responds not to doubt, but to faith expressed in word and action. By the end of day 5, many of you will already see signs of change. An unexpected gift. A financial breakthrough. A surprising opportunity. These are not coincidences, they are confirmations that you are aligned with divine law. As we move into days 6 and 7, we will focus on receiving the final stage of this week-long transformation. You will learn how to live in expectancy, how to recognize wealth when it arrives, and how to step boldly into overflow. But before you can receive, you must fill the space with gratitude and affirmations of supply. So tonight, as you close your eyes, let your final words be, "I am thankful for wealth already mine. Divine supply is unlimited, and I am its channel." These words are not wishes, they are laws, and the law of supply will not fail you. By the time you reach day 6, you are no longer who you were when this journey began. You are lighter because you have released the lies. You are freer because you have forgiven the past. You are stronger because you have affirmed truth. And now at the closing stretch of this 7-day transformation, you are ready for the most powerful step of all, receiving the overflow. Florence Scovel Shinn taught that once the soil has been cleared and the seeds have been planted, manifestation does not drag, it accelerates. Many of her students reported miracles within 24 to 48 hours after practicing release and affirmation. Why? Because expectancy is the final key. Gratitude and affirmation align you with abundance, but expectancy opens the door wide for abundance to enter. Days 6 and 7 are about cultivating that expectancy, living in faith so complete that wealth has no choice but to flow. Faith is more than belief, it is certainty. To believe is to hope that something might happen. To have faith is to know that it must happen. Florence called this acting as if. When you live in faith, you no longer question whether supply will come. You prepare as though it already has. On day 6, begin with the declaration, "Wealth flows to me now in perfect ways." Do not speak it timidly. Declare it with authority. Repeat it 3 times in the morning, 3 times in the afternoon, and 3 times before bed. Each time you declare it, picture wealth already moving toward you, like a river rushing downstream, unstoppable, inevitable. Faith requires expectancy. Expectancy is not passive waiting, it is active preparation. If you expect a check in the mail, you check your mailbox. If you expect a guest, you set the table. In the same way, if you expect wealth, you must prepare your spirit, your home, and your actions. Take time on day 6 to visualize. Close your eyes and picture the outcome you desire. Imagine holding a check in your hand. See the numbers written clearly. Imagine opening your email and finding a message with new business. Imagine a divine appointment, a person who introduces you to an opportunity you could never have found alone. Feel the joy, the relief, the excitement, as though it were already real. This visualization is not fantasy, it is the language of the subconscious. What you see within, you invite without. Florence often told of a woman who desperately needed money for rent. Instead of panicking, she visualized herself writing the rent check with ease, thanking God that the supply was already hers. Within 48 hours, a family member unexpectedly gifted her the exact amount she needed. Florence explained. She prepared the way with faith, and the way appeared. So on day 6, do not beg or plead, prepare, expect, act as though the blessing has already arrived. Each time fear tries to return, replace it with the affirmation, "Wealth flows to me now in perfect ways." At night, journal your expectancy. Write down the specific blessings you are preparing to receive. Write how you will use them for good. This not only strengthens your faith, but also tells your subconscious that wealth is safe, purposeful, and welcome. Now comes the day of completion. Day 7 is not about effort, it is about reception. You have cleared, forgiven, affirmed, and expected. Today you step fully into overflow. Overflow means more than enough. It means blessings that cannot be contained. It means opportunities that surprise you, income that exceeds your calculations, and peace that surpasses your understanding. Florence often shared testimonies of students who, after a week of practicing her teachings, experienced sudden breakthroughs. Debts cleared, jobs offered, doors opened. The law of release and affirmation had prepared them. Day 7 was the moment they allowed themselves to receive. On this day, begin with gratitude, as though the miracle has already manifested. Say aloud, "Thank you for the wealth that flows to me now. Thank you for the overflow I receive in perfect ways." Let your words drip with certainty. Gratitude after the fact is appreciation. Gratitude before the fact is faith. And faith is what moves mountains. Create a receiving ritual on day 7. This could be as simple as opening your wallet or purse and blessing it, saying, "You are always full, you are always replenished." Or you may place your hands over your heart and declare, "I receive abundance now. I welcome overflow into every part of my life." You might even set a space in your home as a receiving place, where you place a journal or box to hold notes of blessings that come. Each act is a signal to your subconscious, the flow has begun. Florence once told of a man who struggled to find work. She instructed him to begin each day saying, "I give thanks for the perfect position that is mine by divine right." He obeyed. Within days he was offered a job that matched not only his skills but also his desires, and it paid more than he had hoped. His secret was not luck, it was the willingness to receive. On day 7, your affirmation is clear. Wealth flows to me now in perfect ways. Repeat it morning and night. Write it in your journal 10 times. Type it in the comments. Wealth flows to me now in perfect ways. Each repetition strengthens the channel through which abundance flows. Expect unusual signs today. It may not be a massive check, though it could be. It may be a small gift, a kind gesture, a surprising opportunity, or even a sudden idea that leads to wealth. Do not dismiss these as coincidence. They are evidence that the overflow has begun. Receive them with joy, no matter the size. for every seed of overflow contains a harvest. At night, close your journal with a statement of completion. I have released, I have forgiven, I have affirmed, I have expected, and now I receive. Overflow is mine. Read it aloud before sleep. Let those words settle in your subconscious so that even in dreams, your spirit rehearses abundance. These final 2 days are not about striving. They are about surrendering into flow. By now, you have prepared the soil, planted the seed, and watered it with gratitude. Day 6 is the sunlight of expectancy. Day 7 is the harvest of reception. Together, they complete the cycle of release and reprogramming, ushering you into the reality of overflow. And here is the truth. Once you experience overflow, you will never again settle for lack. You will know that abundance is not random, it is law. You will understand that wealth is not a privilege for the few. It is your divine right, and you will carry this 7-day practice with you into a lifestyle of continual receiving. So let us seal this section with faith. Speak it aloud right now. Wealth flows to me now in perfect ways. Declare it in the morning, whisper it at night, and let it guide your thoughts throughout the day. For when you live in expectancy and allow yourself to receive, overflow becomes not an exception, but your new normal. 7 days can change your life, but they are not the end of the journey. They are the reset, the spiritual ignition, the doorway into a new way of living. The work of releasing, forgiving, affirming, expecting, and receiving is not meant to be a one-time event. It is meant to become your daily rhythm, your spiritual lifestyle. Prosperity is not something you visit once. It is a home you live in. Florence Scovel Shinn often reminded her students that spiritual laws do not pause when we forget them. They continue to operate. If you release fear today but invite it back tomorrow, the law responds accordingly. If you affirm wealth for a week but return to doubt the following month, the harvest of lack will once again appear. That is why some people see miraculous results during these 7 days, only to watch them fade. They stop too soon. They taste overflow, but do not continue to drink from it. Contrast this with those who choose to live beyond the 7 days. For them, prosperity is not a temporary practice. It becomes a permanent consciousness. They speak affirmations daily, not because they fear loss, but because they know repetition engraves truth into the subconscious. They continue to forgive quickly, knowing resentment and guilt block supply. They practice gratitude, not occasionally, but constantly, turning every moment into a magnet for more. These people move from miracle to miracle, from overflow to overflow, because they remain aligned with divine law. So as you complete your 7-day journey, the choice before you is clear. Will you stop here satisfied with a glimpse of abundance, or will you continue, building a life where overflow is the norm? To live beyond the 7 days, begin by carrying your affirmations with you. Do not let them become words you once spoke. Let them become the language of your life. Wake each morning with declarations such as divine supply is unlimited, and I am its channel. Wealth flows to me now in perfect ways. I am worthy of abundance. These are not empty sentences, they are laws written into the atmosphere of your day. Next, guard your mind. Old beliefs may try to return, whispering their lies. When they do, remember your training. Do not entertain them. Do not argue with them. Replace them instantly with truth. If the thought says, "I'll never have enough," speak immediately. I live in overflow. My supply is constant. The mind is a garden, and weeds will always attempt to creep back, but daily tending ensures the harvest of wealth continues to grow. Another key is action aligned with abundance. Prosperity is not only spiritual, it manifests through your choices. When you believe in overflow, you take bold steps. You pursue opportunities, you give generously, you walk into rooms expecting favor. Faith without action is incomplete. Each action you take in alignment with prosperity is proof to the universe that you are serious about living in divine supply. Florence often encouraged her students to pray daily, not as begging, but as affirming. Prayer is not convincing God to provide, it is aligning yourself with the truth that provision already exists. To help you live beyond these 7 days, here is a daily prosperity prayer you can use as a template. Today, I live in alignment with divine supply. I release every false belief about money, and I forgive myself and others completely. I give thanks for the abundance that is already mine, and I affirm that wealth flows to me in perfect ways. I expect divine appointments, unexpected income, and miraculous opportunities. I receive overflow with joy, and I use it to bless others as well as myself. Today, I walk in prosperity, peace, and faith, and so it is. Pray this each morning before you begin your day. Speak it aloud. Let your subconscious hear it. Let heaven record it. This prayer is not ritual, it is reprogramming. It sets the tone for your day and keeps you aligned with wealth consciousness. Now imagine two paths. The first is the path of those who stop after 7 days. They celebrate their small breakthroughs, but slowly, old habits return. Gratitude fades, affirmations gather dust. Fear creeps back. Within weeks, the flow slows, and they wonder why abundance slipped away. The second path is the one chosen by those who continue. They pray daily. They affirm constantly. They forgive quickly. They live in gratitude. They walk boldly in expectancy. For them, miracles multiply. Opportunities increase. Money flows steadily. They do not visit abundance, they dwell in it. Which path will you choose? Remember, the universe responds to consistency. Just as physical health requires daily nourishment and movement, spiritual prosperity requires daily alignment. You cannot eat once and remain full forever. You cannot affirm once and remain prosperous forever. It is the daily practice that sustains overflow. So, as you step beyond these 7 days, let this truth anchor you. Prosperity is a daily spiritual choice. You are never a victim of lack unless you agree to be. You are never cut off from supply unless you close the door. Every day the choice is renewed. Will you release, forgive, affirm, expect, and receive? I invite you to make this commitment now. Speak aloud, I will live in prosperity beyond these 7 days. And type in the comments, I choose overflow as my lifestyle. By doing so, you set your intention publicly, and intention draws manifestation. This is not the end of your journey. It is the beginning of a new way of life. You have seen what 7 days can do. Imagine what 7 weeks can do. Imagine what 7 months can do. Imagine a lifetime lived in alignment with divine supply. Do not settle for a glimpse. Do not walk away after the door has opened. Step through it. Live there. Prosperity is not only possible, it is promised. And the promise is already yours. You have walked through 7 days of powerful transformation, and by now you have experienced firsthand how release, forgiveness, gratitude, affirmation, and expectancy open the door to overflow. But here is something you must know. Transformation is multiplied in community. When one person speaks faith, it ignites hope. When many speak faith together, it creates a current so strong that miracles manifest faster, testimonies spread wider, and no one feels alone in the journey. That is why I want to invite you into something bigger than yourself, the 7-day Release and Receive Challenge. This challenge is not only about you doing the work privately, it is about joining a family of believers, seekers, and manifestors who are walking the same path. Together, we will release the old, receive the new, and testify of the miracles that follow. Each of you carries faith, but together we create momentum. Here is how it works. Starting today, commit to repeating the full 7-day process again, not as obligation, but as celebration. Each day, return to this space and comment your progress. On day 1, type your acknowledgement. On day 2, type your forgiveness. On day 3, type your affirmations. Continue daily, letting your words become part of this community's shared faith. For example, on day 1, you might write, "Today I release the belief that money is hard to earn." On day 2, you might write, "I forgive myself for past mistakes and debts." On day 3, you could declare, "I affirm, I am aligned with wealth now." Each day, your comment becomes a stone in the foundation of this challenge. By day 7, your words will testify, "Wealth flows to me now in perfect ways. I have received overflow." And as you write this, others will read and be inspired. Your faith becomes their faith. Your testimony becomes their encouragement. Florence Scovel Shinn always emphasized the importance of spoken word. She said that words spoken in agreement with divine law are not idle, they are living forces. Imagine the power of hundreds or even thousands of people speaking the same words of release and abundance together. It creates a collective energy that cannot be denied. So I encourage you to join the challenge and bring your full voice to it. Do not stay silent. Do not observe from the sidelines. Participate. Every day you post your affirmations and progress. You strengthen your subconscious and you contribute to the energy of the group. And here is what will happen. Testimonies will begin to emerge. Someone will write, "On day 4, I received an unexpected check." Another will say, "On day 6, I was offered a new job." Yet another will share, "By day 7, a debt was cleared that had haunted me for years." These are not random stories, they are the evidence of divine law at work, and as you read them, your own expectancy will rise. You will begin to say, "If it happened for them, it can happen for me too." That is the beauty of community manifestation. Alone, you can believe. Together, you can accelerate. So here is my invitation to you, right now. Type in the comments, "Amen," if you believe your 7-day miracle is on its way. By typing "Amen," you are not just clicking keys, you are making an agreement. You are sealing your faith. You are joining hands with a community that believes miracles are not distant dreams, but present reality. As the challenge unfolds, remember this: do not stop at participation. Encourage others. Reply to someone's comment with affirmation. Celebrate their progress. Bless their testimony. Every word of encouragement adds to the momentum. In a world filled with negativity, this space becomes sacred ground, a place where only abundance, faith, and gratitude are spoken. And when you complete the challenge, do not keep your miracle silent. Share it. Post your testimony. Tell the story of what changed in your life over the 7 days. Because your testimony is not only your victory, it is someone else's proof that divine supply works. So let us begin together. Commit to the 7-day release and receive challenge. Return daily. Comment faithfully. Affirm boldly. And expect miracles. Say it one more time with me now. Wealth flows to me now in perfect ways. Write it in your journal. Speak it aloud. Type it below. And as you do, remember, your miracle is not on the way. It has already begun. As we come to the close of this sacred journey together, I want to pause and speak life over you. For the past 7 days, you have walked through a process that many never dare to attempt. You have looked your old beliefs in the eye. You have acknowledged them, released them, forgiven the past, and replaced lies with divine truth. You have planted seeds of gratitude, watered them with affirmation, and opened your heart in faith and expectancy. And now, you stand in the light of overflow. This is not just a teaching, it is a transformation. You have proven to yourself that the chains of poverty consciousness can be broken. You have discovered that lack is not your destiny, fear is not your inheritance, and struggle is not your portion. What once bound you has lost its power. What once silenced you has been replaced with declarations of abundance. You are no longer the person who began this journey. You are renewed, realigned, and ready for a life of divine wealth. So I bless you now. I bless every listener, every viewer, every participant in this journey. I bless you with release, that every false belief about money be dissolved completely. I bless you with faith, that you may walk boldly, expecting miracles daily. I bless you with overflowing supply, that opportunities chase you down, income multiplies, debts dissolve, and blessings overtake you in perfect ways. May your mind remain clear. May your heart remain open. May your words remain aligned with truth. And may every day ahead be brighter, freer, and more abundant than the last. As we close, let us remember the rhythm we walk together. Release, reprogram, receive. This is the divine order of prosperity. When you release, you create space. When you reprogram, you plant truth. When you receive, you live in overflow. This cycle does not end with 7 days, it continues as long as you choose to walk in it. So keep releasing when old thoughts return. Keep reprogramming with affirmations and gratitude. Keep receiving with faith and expectancy. This is how abundance becomes not a miracle you visit once, but a lifestyle you live daily. Now, before we go, I want you to declare one final affirmation with me. Say it aloud right where you are. Old beliefs are gone. Wealth is mine now. Let those words echo in your spirit. Let them become the anthem of your life. Speak them when you rise in the morning. Whisper them as you rest at night. Write them in your journal, type them in the comments, and carry them with you always. Old beliefs are gone. Wealth is mine now. If this journey has blessed you, I invite you to bless others in return. Share this video with someone you know is struggling with lack. Invite them to join this community of faith and manifestation. Like this video so more people can find it. Subscribe so you never miss another teaching that can change your life. Each simple action spreads the message further, and together we can create a wave of abundance that touches countless lives. And as you continue on your path, never forget, the universe responds to your agreement. You agreed to release, and release happened. You agreed to affirm, and affirmations took root. You agreed to expect, and expectancy opened doors. What you agree with becomes your reality. So agree daily with abundance, with peace, with divine wealth. I leave you with this blessing. May your barns be filled, may your tables overflow, may your homes be covered in peace, and may your hearts never lack joy. May every dollar you touch multiply. May every opportunity that belongs to you find its way to you without delay. And may you always remember that you are worthy of abundance, you are designed for prosperity, and you are forever connected to divine supply. So let this be your closing prayer, your final seal on this journey. Old beliefs are gone. Wealth is mine now. Type it in the comments. Speak it into the air. Believe it with your whole heart. And as you do, watch as the miracles unfold, not just for 7 days, but for the rest of your life. Thank you for walking this journey with me. Thank you for your courage, your faith, and your willingness to be transformed. The best is yet to come. Until next time, stay blessed, stay aligned, and stay in overflow.